I would really be nothing without Bleacher Report, man. Shout out to Grant Hughes, the best players under 25 years old. Quick disclaimer, Donovan Mitchell turned 25 about 10 days ago, so he's not on the list. Oh, here's others. Ben Simmons, Mikal Bridges, Miles Turner, Sabonis. Also exclude rookies. That's fair. So we start at number 1. It's a shock to no one. It's Luka. I don't think anyone's going to argue that one. We can just move on. So now they got Jason Tatum number 2, and Trae Young number 3, and Zion number 4. Bam number 5, and Devin Booker number 6. So immediately I would have Devin Booker above Bam. I mean, it's nothing against Bam. It's just, like, I understand the versatile defense, the playmaking, and the potential for him to be more as a scorer, but we also saw him in that Bucks series to have a tough time just putting the ball in the basket. And a lot of it was just because Brook Lopez was standing in front of the rim, so Bam had to go to those 12-footers, and he just couldn't make the Bucks pay like that, right? You compare that to Devin Booker, who was dropping 40 bombs in the playoffs. Sure, not every single game was amazing for him. And then honestly, I ask myself, would I put Booker ahead of Zion? And as of right now, I feel like I would. I mean, look, I was on the Zion is already a top 20 player train like a year ago, whatever, and I went too far with that. He's got to get better defensively, and eventually team success has to matter with this sort of thing. Yeah, the stuff around him isn't ideal, but compare that to what just happened with Devin Booker and the Suns. Yes, Chris Paul played a huge part in that, but I mean, if without Devin Booker, the Suns go nowhere near as far as they did, I would have Devin Booker ahead of Zion. Would I put Devin Booker ahead of Trae Young? My gut honestly leans a little more towards Trae over Booker, just because Trae's passing is on a different level. You know, Booker has made strides as a passer as well, and Booker is better defensively, granted, at least in this last playoff run. Trae Young's fear of getting torched on defense that we all had, it didn't really end up being a thing. I guess I'd lean Trae over Devin Booker, but it's very close. Would I have Trae Young over Jason Tatum? Defensively, Tatum is much better. Passing-wise, Trae Young is in a different world than Tatum is. And the other thing I would say with Tatum, for as much as I love the guy and for as excited as I am that he's on my team for the next however many years, you go back to that Miami series, and there were definitely moments where he looked overwhelmed with the Heat's defense. Similar thing with the Raptors. Even if within those series he had great games, do I have to have a definitive answer? The stuff gets tough, man. I mean, I'm getting caught up on Trae Young and Tatum. I'm not 100% that Tatum's better than Booker. So, I don't know. Maybe these three can be their own little group. But again, I would have Zion behind Devin Booker. Bam, definitely behind Devin Booker. Also Zion ahead of Bam. Next, we have a trio of guards. We've got SGA, LaMelo, and Ja Morant. Ja Morant's efficiency has not matched up with the, I guess, it factor the guy has or something. Mainly because he's just not awesome from three, right? But the playmaking is great. And given his size, he's kind of an insane finisher around the basket. So anyway, that was a long-winded answer to say I would put Ja ahead of LaMelo, although LaMelo's very exciting in his own right. The main thing with LaMelo to me is still just not freaking out when he's going to the rim and there's a big guy in front of him. You know, will he invite contact? Will he not throw up some weird floater or scoop layup thing that looks awkward as hell? He got better at it as the season went along. And then, of course, pull-up shooting and all that. Would I have Ja Morant ahead of SGA? Honestly, no. I think SGA is better than Ja. And I know I just said the whole team success thing with Zion. The Thunder were basically a 500 team when SGA played last year. They didn't start losing until he sat. His three-point shooting kind of went nuts this past season. He gets a lot of trips to the line. And defensively, he's probably towards the top of this list, right? And it's only a matter of time when OKC eventually has an actual NBA team around him. Shout out to Lou Dort. I'd probably have SGA above Bam. Now, the next player I want to make note of is Brandon Ingram at 15. Obviously, I'm going to have Ingram much higher because when I did the reacting to the redraft, I put Brandon Ingram at number 1 over Jalen and Ben Simmons and whoever else. So that means I'm putting Ingram above Deandre Ayton. We saw Ayton get the ball more in the playoffs, be an amazing finisher, match Jokic and AD in production various times, get better defensively. I just think Brandon Ingram's scoring potential is so damn high. I would put Ingram above OG. It's kind of wild to have Anunoby number 13, but I mean, I put him in my breakout players video. I do think he could take another step offensively, if anything just because he'll shoot more threes, because he was pretty damn good from 3 last year. But there's potential off the dribble, definitely. And there's a chance he's like maybe all defense. Would I have Ingram above De'Aaron Fox? Starts to get a little tough there. De'Aaron Fox is really good. I think he has gotten shafted a little bit among NBA discourse. I mean, sure, he's got to get better with the threes and the free throw shooting, but I mean, the guy averaged like 25 and 7 last year, man. And the efficiency was still pretty damn good overall because he's so good at attacking the basket. So I'd probably have Fox quite a bit higher. I know I was just talking about Ingram, and now I've just pivoted to De'Aaron Fox a little bit. I would probably have MPJ below Ingram and below De'Aaron Fox. Maybe I'm downselling him. I mean, obviously he still has way more potential as a scorer. Would anybody be shocked if he averages 27 points a game in like some point in his career? No. But, I mean, I could say the same thing for Ingram and Fox. You got Jalen number 10. I mean, I already put Brandon Ingram above Jalen in the redraft thing, so obviously I would have it here. It gets tough to decide exactly where every guy is numbers-wise, but I would have Ingram above Jalen. I'd probably have De'Aaron Fox above Jalen as well. And this is no disrespect to Jalen. I love the guy. These are all very good players. I think with Fox, it's just, like, to me, De'Aaron Fox can be the best player on a team that makes the playoffs, because it almost happened already with the Kings when they won the 39 games that one year and surprised everybody. For as much improvement as Jalen has made as a shot creator, I don't think he's ever going to get to that level as De'Aaron Fox is. Now, Jalen can make up for that by just having insane shot making, and that's a possibility. But if I'm forced to pick someone, I'm going to go De'Aaron Fox over Jalen, and I also go Brandon Ingram over Jalen. As far as what the rankings actually look like for me right now, I've got no clue. Next, we got Jamal Murray at 16, so MPJ over Jamal Murray. I guess it doesn't really matter. They're on the same team. I feel like I would have Jamal Murray above Deandre Ayton, and Anunoby for that matter. Anthony Edwards at 17. Yeah, Edwards, he had a very up and down rookie season, man. Came out of the gate, not shooting well, taking a lot of those contested threes, and I mean, he never really stopped taking them, to be fair, but it just wasn't going awesome. Then Towns comes back, they give the ball to Edwards more, starts getting screens from Towns, making plays in the middle of the floor, whether that's a pass to the corner or lobbing it up to Towns or whatever it might be, or simply just finishing with contact because the guy's huge, of course, and very athletic. So he went in the right direction. And John Collins at 18. As I keep saying, we'll just see where he ranks in the offense. 18 points in the regular season last year, 14 in the playoffs. He's got the talent. All right, Jaren Jackson at number 19. Yeah, we'll see, man. Between health, fouling a lot, and maybe needing to put on some more weight. I mean, he's been good on defense, don't get me wrong, but he has not been the defensive wizard that some suggested he would be coming into the NBA. And maybe this is the year. Offensively, already really good from three, even if his form is awkward as hell. Can go off the dribble, can catch lobs. Would I put him over John Collins? Yeah, I would. I would still rather have Jaren Jackson than Collins. RJ at number 20. So if I'm going to make any hot take in this whole thing, this is the hot take. I think RJ is making a jump this year. The only fear I have, as I keep saying, is that the Knicks now have one too many guys who want to shoot the ball, and RJ is going to get shots taken away from him. But if you ask me, who do I want, RJ Barrett or some of these guys ahead of him? I mean, let's go down it. Jaren Jackson or RJ? Give me RJ. John Collins, I want RJ. Anthony Edwards, I'd rather have RJ. Jamal Murray, okay, it starts to get tough around Jamal Murray. But hell, I mean, OG Anunoby's like number 13. I'll take RJ over OG. I'll take RJ over Deandre Ayton. The shooting got a lot better. He's going to be taking threes off the dribble. Sure, he needs to get a little better with shiftiness. He's sometimes still a little stiff when he's handling the ball, going across screens or whatever. But I feel like he's getting there, man. Lonzo at 21. Who do they have Lonzo ahead of? Because this is always fun. Halliburton. You know, they're kind of like eerily similar in a way. Lonzo has grown into a very good three-point shooter. Halliburton already is. Defensively, they're both good. They're both the type of guys who do a lot of little things like make the extra pass, rotate over to somebody, close out really hard, swipe in at a ball handler, and all that adds up to their teams usually being better when they're in the game, even if they don't average a huge point total or whatever. If I've got to pick one, I would go with Halliburton because I think his mid-range numbers were very promising in his rookie season. And I think it could allow him to be a little more of a dynamic offensive player in time. Miles Bridges at 23, there's no way I'm going to agree with this. Who is behind him? Jarrett Allen, yeah, I'd have Jarrett Allen above Miles Bridges. And I would have Sexton above Bridges as well. Now, that's nothing against Bridges. I mean, once he played the 4/5 more often and just got better at shooting threes, he suddenly became a guy who can finish, he can cut, he can roll, he can play in transition, and he can at least space the floor out for you. But compare that to Jarrett Allen, who could average, 15 points and 15 rebounds and still be good defensively. And Collin Sexton, who's already a 20-plus point scorer, I just don't think Miles Bridges compares.